Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. We've been looking at sequences. We've looked at arithmetic sequences, and typically we're looking for a common difference with an arithmetic sequence, and we've looked at geometric sequences, which look at common ratios. And now we're actually going to look at some unique sequences. So let me read through this. It says, use the first and second differences to find the next three terms in this sequence. So if we look at these numbers here, what I want to do first is I'm going to try to find a first difference. In fact, one thing I'm going to do is actually just move this information over. So let me just slide that over real quick, just so we have some more room to play with. Okay, so this method's not going to work every time, but it's worth taking a shot. So what we're going to do is look for differences, and the first thing I'm going to do is look for the first difference. So I'm just going to actually write first diff for difference here. The first difference, so what I'm going to actually do is look at my list of numbers here, and what I'm going to do is try to find the difference between each set of numbers. So what I'm going to do is take a number, I'll start with 8 here, and I'm going to subtract it by the previous number. So what's the difference between 8 and 1 here? So the difference here is going to be 7. So the difference here is 7. Then I can just keep building on from there. I'm going to keep asking what's the difference if I keep subtracting that previous number. And in fact, I'm just going to build these little just carets here. Okay, so 19 minus 8 is going to give me 11. 34 minus 19 will give me 15. And then 53 minus 34, that will give a 19 here. So, all right, so if I'm looking for a pattern within the first difference, well, I really don't see anything right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it out. I'm going to do exactly what this statement's telling me to do above, and I'm going to build it out to the second difference. So now I'm going to look for the second difference. So I'm just going to write second, so second diff here, second difference here. So the second difference, it's actually going to look for the difference between the values in my first difference set, so my set of first difference values. So now I'm going to look for the difference between 7 and 11, 11 and 15. I'm going to fix that caret just so it's a little bit bigger. And let's try that. I guess I'm making it a little too big or too small. So right about there, and then finally that last caret there. So let's find the second difference in these sets, and we're going to see what happens here. This is kind of cool. So the difference between 11 and 7 here is going to give me a value of 4. The difference between 15 and 11 is 4. The difference between 19 and 15 is also 4. So notice here, I do have a pattern. I have a common difference of 4 here. So basically what I'm trying to do here, since I'm seeing a pattern, well, when you're asked to find the first and second differences, what you're really trying to do is just build out your differences, just keep building a list of differences, and see if you can run into a common difference. So really what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to find that common difference again. DER or FER, FERENC. So common difference, that's really what I'm trying to do, and I ran into a common difference when I got down to the second difference. Okay, so that's a part of this problem, but it really hasn't answered this question of finding the next three terms. So I actually have to find the next three terms after 53. Okay, and I can actually do that just using the information given below here between my differences. Since I know that my second difference, the pattern's always going to hold true, that the second difference would always be 4. And in fact, if I want to, I could build that out here. I could just say my next three terms, they're going to have a common difference somewhere in it within the second difference. That second common difference is going to be 4. So this is going to continue on. It would forever. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. But what I would do is I'd take these values of 4 and I would add them up into the first difference set of values. So starting with 19, I'm just going to add 4 here. So let's go ahead and add 4. Okay, so 19 plus 4 would give me a value of 23. 23 plus 4 would give me a value of 27. And 27 plus 4 would give me a value of 31. Okay, now be careful here. I haven't actually answered the question yet. I've just found the next three first difference values. I need to actually look for the next three terms in the list above. So what I'm going to do is I just want to slide this information over just a tad. All right, just to right and just a little bit more to the right. Okay, perfect. And in fact, I don't need to change pin colors yet, because what I'm going to do next, I'm going to jump back to that value 23, and the way that I could find the next term in this list is take 23 and add it to 53. So take 53, the last or previous number in the list, and I'm going to actually add 23 to it. When I do that, well, 53 plus 23 is 76. Okay, so 76 is the next number in this list. Okay, so next, what I do next is I'd take 76 and I'd add 27 to it and get 103. Okay, and what I'd do from here is I'd take 103 and add 31 to it and get 134. Okay, so now I've found the next 3 terms in my list. Okay, so if we actually think about how the heck did we even get to these last 3 terms and build this entire set of values, because the first difference, it doesn't seem to have a pattern, but the second difference does. What really happened here? What's missing from this picture? Well, it's not that it's missing, it's just kind of hidden. So if we go back to the start, to get from 1 to 8, well, the difference is 7, so we'd have to add 7. And to get from 8 to 19, well, the difference here is 11, so you'd have to add 11 to 8 to get to 19. But again, we said it doesn't really look like there's a pattern here, but in the second difference it looks like there's one. Well, there's actually a pattern up here. So the pattern is, well, again, I added 7 to get to 8, and think about it this way. In this next change from 8 to 19, I'm not just adding 11. What I'm really doing is I'm taking that previous add-on of 7. So from 8 to 19, I'm going to add 7 to 8, and then I'm also going to add a 4 to 7. So 4 plus 7 gives us 11. Okay, so to get from 19 to 34, I'm not just going to add 15. What I'm really thinking is I'm going to take 11 here, I'm going to add 11 on to 19, and then I'm going to add on a 4 to it. So 11 plus 4 gives us 15. And that's actually how I'm building this list of numbers, the data set here. What I'm really doing is I'm taking the previous difference and adding 4 to it each time. I'm taking that previous difference's value and I'm adding 4 to it to build my next number in the list.